you ever been worried about your weight? I know I have. Maybe you gained some pounds during your first year of college, or you got really obsessed about getting that summer body ready for long days at the beach. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone on this. Again, I worry about it too. Humans are not the only ones that struggle to stay slim. Animals can have the same problem, and when it happens, we get some interesting looking animals. Today we're going to be looking at 10 of the fattest animals in the world. We'll learn to see how these animals turned into the overweight version of their kind. Some of them got fat due to the way their owners fed them, and some others just had health issues. And some others were just gluttons. We even have some animals that are fat and big for no reason. A strange act of nature, I'm guessing. As always, the best is saved for last, so make sure you stay with me to the end. Things will just get more interesting and a little larger as we get closer to the top of the list. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. The Goldfish YouTube Star. We start this video with a famous YouTube star, the Fat Goldfish. This little guy became famous back in 2007 when user TipOwnsYou posted a video in which he introduced the world to his very fat goldfish. The owner went on to confidently say that he had the fattest goldfish in the world and challenged other people to prove him wrong. The goldfish, that is usually a small kind of fish, was almost as big as someone's fist. It was then revealed that the fish had a problem in his intestines which made him look that big. When compared to other fish in the tank, this fat goldfish could barely move or stay afloat. The fish would flip over every time it tried to turn around. Sadly, TipOwnsYou came back later on to update his audience about the unfortunate death of his unlucky fish. Although he claimed that his goldfish was the fattest one in the world, I still dare to disagree. The reason why is because after TipOwnsYou got attention, a lot of other videos about fat goldfish surfaced. And again, it seemed like all of these fish had some digestive-related disease, and that's just unfortunate, really. Number 9. A raccoon named Bandit. Our next animal is a fat raccoon named Bandit. He had thyroid issues since birth, which if you don't know, it's the gland that balances your growth. In fact, a lot of humans also have thyroid issues and develop weight-related problems. Bandit grew up with a group of dogs as the puppy of one kind dog that adopted him. Later on, Bandit was adopted by a woman in Pennsylvania. Some of the raccoon's favorite foods included chips, Fruit Loops, and even French fries. By the year of 1999, Bandit had reached a weight of 23.8 kilos, and 2 years later he weighed 29.2 kilos, and that's about 5 times bigger than regular raccoons. To make things official, Bandit got a spot in the 1999 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records as the fattest raccoon ever. This guy became a celebrity and went on to participate as a guest in major media outlets such as the Food Network and a radio show in the UK. Finally though, in 2004, the raccoon reached a weight of 34 kilos along with early signs of cancer. He was finally put to sleep at the age of 10 to avoid further suffering. Number 8. Holly the Bear. Every year during the summer, people celebrate Fat Bear Week at the Katmai National Park in Alaska. During this event, the employees of the park ask visitors to vote for the bear that has become the fattest over the summer. And far from being a body-shaming event, they claim this as a celebration of life. The park sent a press release saying that there is no shame in winning the contest, as large amounts of body fat in brown bears is indicative of good health and strong chances of survival over the winter. The most recent winner is a bear named Holly, and you can see how this beautiful bear gained a significant amount of weight in just a couple of months. The park introduced Holly as fabulous and as a bear whose healthy heft will help her hibernate until the spring. But Holly is not only famous for winning Fat Bear Week. Holly's fame dates back to 2015 when she adopted an abandoned bear. Park authorities say that adoption of cubs is rare within these bears, but for some reason Holly defied the rules of nature and took this bear in as one of her own, and that's just nice. Good for her. Number 7. CLYDE the Spider Monkey. It's not a common sight to find a spider monkey in your backyard, let alone finding one of the fattest monkeys in the world so close to your home. But back in 2009, a 4-year-old in Tennessee found this big spider monkey while playing outside. He then told his mom and they immediately called animal control to come help them out with this uncommon visitor. People from animal control couldn't believe it since spider monkeys are not native to Tennessee. However, they learned that this fat monkey was someone else's pet and his name was Clyde. Clyde's owners also said that the monkey loves Italian snacks and it's hard for them to keep him away from the food. And that just kinda goes to explain his size. According to Animal Control, this is hands down the strangest animal rescue they performed because they've never seen a spider monkey like Clyde before. Number 6. Darius the Bunny. What animal can eat 2 cabbages, 6 apples, and 12 carrots per day? Well, that would be Darius, who appears to be one of the fattest bunnies ever according to the Guinness Book of World Records. Maybe cabbages, apples, and carrots don't sound enough to make someone full or fat, but that is a lot when it comes to rabbits who usually feed from leafy greens and only a few carrots on a daily basis. And if that wasn't enough, Darius also has hay as a snack during the day. That actually kinda rhymes. According to his owner, Annette Edwards, Darius behaves like a dog. This big rabbit enjoys being petted while lying on your lap, and he will even eat at the table with you if you allow him to. And this has not been the first time that Annette has a record-breaking rabbit. Prior to Darius, Annette had another rabbit named Alice who had a record due to her size. But Darius shouldered her aside with his 1.2 meters of length and his 23 kilos of weight. Luckily for Annette, meeting Darius's eating needs is not that hard. After all, she grows her own vegetables, enough to feed the rabbit and still have enough left for Annette and her family. Number 5. Mr. Piggywinkle the Hedgehog. When this hedgehog was found by his owners, he was way too thin for hibernation, so they decided to feed him with lots of dog food. However, they did go a bit too far as the hedgehog got so fat that he could no longer roll into a ball like most hedgehogs do. A rescue center in Highbridge, Somerset immediately picked him up and put him on a strict diet and exercise regime to get him down to a more favorable weight. The 1.8 kilo animal was about 3 times the regular size of hedgehogs and gained the title of Hogzilla. People at Animal Care could not believe the size of this animal. Up until that moment, the biggest one they had seen was a 1.1 kilo hedgehog, and that was because she was pregnant. But Mr. Piggywinkle was just large due to an imbalanced diet. The Animal Care Center had to help the hedgehog lose at least 1 kilo before being able to send him back into the wild. Number 4. Barnaby the cat. A lot of you might not be familiar with this, but back in the day there was a famous cartoon cat named Garfield. He was famous for his never-ending appetite, always eating any kind of food that was set before his eyes, and is still sort of a mainstay in meme culture. A bit of a spoiler, don't feed your cat lasagna, it's really not good for them. Honestly, go ahead and watch some of the older episodes, they're pretty fun, and some of the newer episodes are okay as well. The reason I mention this is because there is a real-life Garfield, although he was actually named Barnaby, and this cat is way bigger than any cat you could have ever imagined. Well, it was bigger, but that all changed when he was finally put on a crash diet after reaching a weight of about 20 kilos. 20 kilos is a regular size for a 6-year-old human. That weight for a house cat is not a good thing. He managed to gain that much weight by having 5 meals a day, and Barnaby was not just having a simple cat's meal. For dinner, Barnaby was eating as much as his human owners. On top of that, this cat was afraid of pigeons, which only made him stay lazy throughout the day. He lacked any physical activity that could have helped him stay fit, and reports do in fact confirm that he hates Mondays. Number 3. The squirrel from California. Tell me something, what happens when tourists spot squirrels? They feed them, of course, but sometimes they take this a little too far, and that's what happened to this Californian squirrel that reached twice its size after being repeatedly fed by tourists. And even after gaining that much weight, the tourists kept feeding the animal because humans are just that way. Marina van der Litten is the person behind this famous photo of the fat squirrel. She says she spotted it during a visit to the Morro Rock State Preserve in Santa Barbara, California. She visited the park on a foggy day and could not spot any animals, but a lot of squirrels came to her as soon as she pulled out her bag of peanuts. They all seemed big, but the one that grabbed her attention was even bigger than the rest. When Marina tried to take the picture, the squirrel couldn't fit in the picture. The photographer had to slightly move backwards to be able to get the whole squirrel in frame, and that is just a very large squirrel. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Today I have the picture of a very fat orangutan. What could have happened for this animal to get so big? Let's find out. Number 2. OSHINE the fat orangutan. Now this is the story about how OSHINE's life got turned and flipped upside down, and I'd like you to take a minute and just sit right there and let me tell you how about she kept eating all of the food. Granted, I'm not a rapper nor is this Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but also this orangutan is not exactly healthy. But what else can you expect from an animal that regularly eats burgers, jelly, and all sorts of sweets? Wait a second, are we sure we're not talking about me? While her owners thought it was a good idea to feed the orangutan with junk food, Animal Care Centers knew best and put the orangutan on a strict diet that included lots of fruits, vegetables, and lean meats. Before being brought to the UK, this big ape spent a sedentary and uncommon lifestyle that made her gain weight. Her previous owners claim it was hard to keep her calm unless they gave her junk food, and that's how she turned into this overweight orangutan. They finally realized that they could not offer OSHINE a healthy lifestyle, so they opted for giving her to a monkey care center in the UK where they were able to give her food with the nutrients that she needed for a better life.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Cassie the dog. And at the top of our list we find Cassie the dog. At 7, this little not-so-little one reached a size of 9 stones or 57 kilos by feeding on a human diet. Cassie was the only friend to her lonely owner. They shared dinners and Sunday roasts together, which made Cassie gain a lot of weight in a little amount of time. At some point, Cassie's owner had to send her to animal care due to an illness that kept the lady from taking care of her dog. The dog's owner realized that Cassie needed a strict diet and an exercise routine, and thanks to their efforts, Cassie was able to lose half of the weight and can now enjoy a healthy lifestyle. And that's all I have for the day. I hope you enjoyed watching and learning about these fat animals. Do you have any pets that are overweight? What's the fattest animal that you've seen? Let us know in the comment section down below. I really hope you're taking good care of any animals around you, and I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.